Howdy y'all, welcome back to another video. Glad you're here. And today I wanted to talk about the indie animation industry. Industry? Is it an industry if it's indie? Well, anywho, indie animation for those who aren't too familiar with it, and don't worry, I wasn't either. But indie animation refers to animations that are produced independently or outside of big industry corporation studio stuff. They're mostly compiled of people who do web series, animated pilots, or animated shorts. And you can kind of find these on like most social media platforms or long form content platforms like YouTube, Vimeo, and there's probably another one out there that I'm not sure of, but you know, things like that. They're usually crowdfunded, locally produced, or even produced through the help of volunteer work. And that's pretty much the gist of the indie animation industry, just to give you like a short idea. Now, indie animation has been on the rise lately, well, even actually within the past couple of years as well, with people coming out with animated projects and pilots and series that are all starting to get noticed by networks and larger brands in the industry, which is in some respects very positive things for fellow artists and animators, creators and storytellers. You know, as long as they're not getting completely screwed over by some of those companies. But anyways, I've been seeing things like Bee and Puppy Cat, Has Been Hotel, Hell of a Boss, Lackadaisy, just to name a few. Oh, The Amazing Digital Circus, Port by the Sea, The Odd Ones Out has like a show now too, and I don't know, there's just so much going on, and it's super exciting. And as I'm sure y'all know, I've said it in a couple videos, but I'll say it again in case you're new here. I graduated about a year ago now. Yikes. With a degree in 2D animation and visual effects. And I have applied for studio work, which has ended in rejection. Which of course I'm actually not too bummed about because I didn't think it would happen anyways, TBH. So, you know, I'm not completely destroyed by it, but, you know, still, I'm looking for animation work and I want to achieve my dream of becoming a showrunner. This is a long-term goal that I say almost all the time in most of my videos, and, you know, not gonna lie, the goal feels very unachievable at times. That was until I came across a video on my Instagram feed a couple months ago.
Hi, I'm Milo.
I'm Ren. I'm Reed.
And we're starting an animation studio in our basement.
After we graduated animation school, the industry wasn't looking so great.
So, in an effort to stay employed and alive, we're starting Studio Flimpo, a bona fide indie animation studio.
This is Studio Flimpo, and from my understanding, there are a bunch of recent grads who want to take the industry into their own hands and decided to create an animation studio from the ground up in their basement. First off, I didn't know you could do that. That's cool. Like that's super cool actually. What the heck? And yeah, I'm pretty out of touch with how all of that works and how the business side of that works, but at any rate, they figured it out. Now, since they've begun their studio, they have created 2 animated short films, which I believe they worked on while they were in school as thesis films, which is super rad. And they recently dropped the trailer for their most recent project, Mandelbrot Hall, which is also currently being crowdfunded at the time of this video's release, and it's being backed by a bunch of people, and it's incredible, super incredible to see the support that they're getting. I happened to watch the trailer, and yo, my dudes, it looks fantastic, and I think that there is some really good stuff that's gonna come out of this place. Genuinely, it's already looking so neat. And since I've started noticing a bit more of their presence on social media and stuff like that, I've been wanting to keep up with everything they're working on and working towards, and I've really just been like enjoying what I've been seeing from them. And I encourage you all to hear all of what I'm going to say from the sources themselves. Go watch their interviews with Toon Boom, their live streams on Twitch and YouTube, and you know, go look at the official sources of all that. But I'm just gonna give you some cliff notes and kind of like my thoughts and opinions and stuff about Studio Flimpo, because I feel like what they're doing is very important and should be talked about. So what I've seen from recent interviews and stuff like that is that one of their goals is is to support other aspiring artists and animators and create some job opportunities for those who are struggling to find jobs in the industry, as well as providing another source of animation to thrive in an area that isn't California. And this is huge. I mean, totally, I get it, because before I graduated, when I was still in school, all my professors were telling me that like the opportunities were more bountiful in like the California area, and like there's very few studios elsewhere. And unfortunately, some studios are even being bought out or shut down due to a whole plethora of things that are beyond my understanding. And I believe that they're based in New York, which for me still isn't ideal because I live in Texas, so either coast, traveling to either coast is still like a long journey. But I do like that they are establishing themselves in that area because, you know, life just ain't about me. And it's cool to have, another studio option out there, that's super cool. Another thing that they have mentioned is that they want to provide really positive and fair work environments for people or future prospects that they one day hope to hire. And this is really great to hear, because I'm sure some of you may know, the animation industry is unfortunately and horrendously known for poor working conditions. There's a lot of underpay, a lot of crunch time, insane hours, just some very awful stuff like that. And it's good to hear that coming from them, especially since we're hearing from, like former students who know what it takes to pursue, this line of work in films. And, it's nice to hear from them instead of like big wigs and suits who don't really seem to care about like the common animation worker. It's nice to hear them say that they want better working conditions because, again, we're people too, and we need we need to financially support ourselves. We just can't draw for free. Like, it's like, sure, it can be argued that it's a hobby, whatever, but at the very base, it's a job, and people need to get properly compensated for that kind of stuff. And to be honest, that's actually one of my main fears of entering the industry. I mean, I've been thinking lately, like, if it's something I even want to do anymore, because I just learned about how important mental health is recently. And I keep thinking if, like, is chasing my dream even worth destroying my mental health again with all of these unhealthy work habits and all the stuff that the industry could possibly bring upon me. I'm not saying every studio is like super bad. There's of course some really good ones out there, but I don't know what's what. I'm just kind of putting myself out there, and I don't really understand like what I'm getting myself into. But like I said, they're wanting to do good, and that's pretty rad because I think it's something that needs to be addressed and also should be the new standard for the industry. The workers should come first. Story second, of course, but you got to have a solid team working for you if you're going to produce some really great stories. And now, one of the last points I wanted to talk about in Studio Flimpo is, again, one of their main goals, which is to which is to tell stories that they want to tell. Another great fear of mine is having my show taken away from me, or my story just ending up in some vault for 10 years. And, while it's in that vault, I'm contractually obligated to not touch it or work on it at all. One of the benefits that they have is that during their in-between time that's not spent on client work, they work on their own stuff, which is super cool. They get to greenlight their own stories, and they don't have to answer to any big wigs or nothing because it's on them. And that to me just sounds like one of the most fulfilling things I could think of. Like, I can't get over how cool that is and how much I want to be in a position to do that. And with that said, I do think I am where I need to be for the time being, but that's a story for a different day. But yeah, those are some of my thoughts about the indie animation studio and Studio Flimpo. Overall, I really just can't wait to see what they're doing and what they're going to be doing in the future, especially with Mandelbrot Hall, which again is being crowdfunded and backed at the time of this video's release. And I hope you guys can go show them some support. I will be pledging $5. Money's a little weird right now, so that's kind of the best I can do, but anything helps. And I do encourage, again, everybody to give them some support. There's also many other ways of supporting them, like getting some of their merch, donating to their stream. And if money is still pretty tight, there's other ways you can support as well by creating some fan art of their characters and stuff like that. Liking, subscribing, following, sharing their content across social media platforms that you may already have. And yeah, I just cannot stress enough how happy this makes me. Animation and art means so much to me, and seeing them go on this fantastic journey really gives me hope that I can get my story out there someday. It's really fantastic and refreshing. So before I keep going on and on, thank you guys for watching. See you later, homies.